Hi again, everybody. Ryan Cater, Director of Golf here at the Edge School. We're continuing with our industry professional series here. This is a good friend of mine. This is Izak Fouche. Izak actually hails from South Africa, of all places, but now resides in Ontario. He can thank me partially for that. But Izak is a very good industry professional. He's been teaching now for over 15 years, maybe close to 20 years now. And he's got a really good operation going in Burlington, Ontario. And I look forward to, helping him influence our program a little bit. Izak, why don't you go on and introduce yourself?
Hey, Ryan, thank you for having me. Nice to see you again, by the way.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough. I grew up in a very small town, about 5,000 people. We had a 9-hole golf course. And my dad sort of got me into the game. He started out looking after golf courses in his spare time. And then over the years, he developed into one of the top golf course superintendents in South Africa. And I think I was fortunate in that sense that I could spend time on the golf course at a young age and just learn from the older guys that played there. And naturally, my dad was left-handed, but he played right-handed golf purely because there wasn't left-handed clubs available back then. Yeah. So I learned a lot, and I learned very quickly. I've got a small little story here. We played club champs, and I could hit the ball far enough even back then. And I was playing against this one senior guy in the club. And when we fill in the scorecard, I go, how did this guy make a 4? He was there. Oh, chip and putt. Yeah, he made a 4. So I learned very quickly that it's not always about hitting the ball the longest, but it's getting the ball in the hole as quick as you can.
Oh, for sure. I mean, access to golf is always important for kids. And here in the program, we're going to spend a lot of time out on the range for sure, and grinding that time and working on technical skills and motor skills and all sorts of things. But there's going to be a lot of playing time. And I think in your career, you've actually now, having access as a kid, that was awesome. But now your professional playing career, you've also played a ton of golf in competitive formats. And maybe you can talk a little bit about from that advice angle to kids.
Yes, it's, as you're saying, it's important to spend time on the range, but I think learning to score that's a completely different skill set that you got to be able to apply when you play. As I say, you can up and down it from anywhere. That's a good start, but just learning to hit different shots on the golf course is not something you're predominantly going to learn on the range. You want to practice it on the range, but you get to get out on the golf course and practice it. I mean, I'm going to go back to when I had the time to practice and play. I would warm up, I would hit a few balls, work on my swing, and then I would actually go out on the golf course and throw balls in different places. Not purely just off the tee, but in different areas, and trying to get the ball on the green, learn to shape shots, learn to up and down it from a difficult lie. That just makes you a better golfer, I think, overall. Now, was it about a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to spend some time with our mutual friend, Mark Evershed, on the golf course. Mark turned over to me at one stage. He'd go like, you really don't want to make a bogey. I'm like, no. Like, I would try and up and down from everywhere and anywhere just to save par. So, and it was a good time for me to develop my own swing, not spend back, and we didn't have as much access now to all the technology. And you got to learn to swing your swing, even with the new technology, and understand your misses and where you're going to go from there. That's really important. And I had a really good time on my own when I went out to practice, because I could sort of just try and figure some of the stuff out on my own.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and again, having the time, the access, and just the option to play is huge, but making the most of that time is critical, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
We have so many hours in the day, and so much time in a week or a month, or even of course in a Canadian season. So we're a little bit under the gun to really get out there and really learn how to play golf. As funny as that sounds, people don't separate practice from golf sometimes. So the other thing about your career is being from South Africa, travel is definitely a component. And you've actually worked a lot of different places over the world and seen some of the experiences in the industry. You and I actually met originally in a very unique situation where we were running golf tours off the cruise ships. And we had a lot of fun doing that job, but it was also,
yes, absolutely,
it was also very lucrative in some ways, and got to play and see a lot of places and meet a lot of great people. So and that job for sure shows a lot of versatility and learning how to run a business in a sense, and making money in a short period of time is important for people that get into the industry, but it's a customer service job. And as a golf professional, I'm sure you'd agree that if you have to have that customer service first kind of idea. And I think that's something that you do extremely well. And if you're thinking of ever getting in the industry for the junior players, I think that's a key skill, wouldn't you think?
well, absolutely. I mean, even if you're a teaching professional or a playing professional, it's kind of a business if you look at it.
Yep.
Fortunately enough, I spent some time in financial markets as well, which customer relationship is very important, building it and maintaining it. And the same in the golf, you do want to develop your skills and hone in on what you do really well. But those areas that you lack, that's where you really want to spend time on, because you want to improve that. You may want to make your weak points stronger, that you can rely on those when it calls for.
Oh, for sure.
But I think golf over the last 15 years has developed quite a bit into, and this is actually kind of funny. I know I'm slightly off the topic here, but when I grew up, my dad went like, golf isn't, you don't want to work in this industry, which was kind of funny because he worked in the industry, and he goes like, yeah. So when I turned professional, it was a little bit more difficult, I want to say, because I don't think a lot of the young players realize how much more advantages they have, especially building up a team around you, not trying to do it on your own, because it's tremendously hard doing it on your own. If you find a good caddy, hold on to them. Good caddies is something else we can talk about, most probably a session just on that. But if you want to be successful, you got to learn to work with people around you, trust in what they say, and boils down again to being a team member, working with people, understanding people where they come from. You might not always agree with them, but you got to be able and willing to listen to them.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Listening is a skill. And, my dad always joked, you got two ears and one mouth, means you should listen twice as much as you talk. But it's important for juniors to understand that at an early age, is to absorb everything that comes around you, absorb the parts that work for you. And, having you and a bunch of other guys involved in the program, and at an arm's length, and you run a very successful business now there in Burlington at a place called Within Range, and your own business being Izak Fouche Golf, and you have some presence there on Instagram and Facebook. Possibly going to have you out here when the COVID things end, of course, and maybe you can meet some of the players and hit a few shots and whatever you want to do. But look forward to having you out, and I really appreciate the time, sir, and we'll be talking soon, but thanks for doing this.
Okay, right. Thank you very much for having me. And whenever you guys need something, hopefully we can get out there soon, bring up a team, and we can have some good old competition out there.
Oh, now you're giving away one of the secrets.
Sorry about that.
Coming soon. Talk soon, bud. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Right.